Let us go to that next level then. So what is Dr. Cassiel Ato Forson's priorities now for the next less than 2 years before the big day, December 7, 2024?
Okay, so let me put it this way. Governance in this country has gone to the dogs. Our country's economy is in bad shape. As we speak, the central bank has printed almost 50 billion Ghana cedis. Okay, breaching the Bank of Ghana's Act, Section 37 and 39 of the Bank of Ghana's Act as amended 2016. No one is talking about it. As a result of this, we've seen inflation moving to 54% plus, hyperinflation and counting. Monetary policy rate is now 28% and counting. We have seen clearly that as a result of what is happening, today, lending rate, some banks are lending in excess of 40%. What business will you do for you to be able to make revenue of 40%, profit of 40% for you to pay your debt? Unemployment is getting to levels that are becoming a national security concern. Our country's economy is simply in tatters. We have, in fact, let me put it this way, we are insolvent or bankrupt. As a result of that, 2 days ago, government of Ghana had to default in the payment of principal amounting to 4.2 billion Ghana cedis, domestic bonds. First time it has ever happened in the history of Ghana. So everything is out of order. Our economy and our livelihood is in trouble. Debt exchange. Look at what is happening. Domestic debt exchange. I have cautioned that domestic debt restructuring is like a surgery. Don't do it when you are not sure of its impact. Because there are certain surgeries, you go and do it, you die. This is the kind of surgery that Ghana is doing, domestic debt exchange. I've heard the president begging virtually China to accept, what do you call it, to join the creditors committee and to give Ghana debt relief. Yeah. Eurobond holders are depressed because as far back as 18 January 2023, Ghana has defaulted because the coupons due we have failed to pay. As we speak, over 60 projects have to be held, put on hold. Contractors are laying off workers left, right, and center. It can only get unemployment worse. The banks are threatening to collapse. I'm hearing 17. At a point, I was talking of 5 banks. But from the document I have seen and what I've read, I'm so scared that 17 banks are going to go down. What is happening in this economy? 17 banks, okay.
Will or have the potential to
they are there, almost there, and
that's almost an entire banking sector.
Well, so it tells you that few of our banks are strong enough. The government doesn't seem to care. You are going through this major economic reform, so I won't call it reform. As a their own reckless borrowing, they've put this country into a bottomless pit. And as a result, they're taking this country through this very difficult pain. In spite of that, Parliament isn't aware of this. There's no single document before Parliament about all what is going on.
The Finance Ministry says in the 2023 budget, they inform Parliament.
Have you seen what is there? Have you seen what is there?
Doing a debt exchange.
It's not even a paragraph. It's a quarter of a paragraph saying that they are going to discuss some debt restructuring. Just a quarter of a paragraph. Today, what is happening here? It's incredible for them to think that that is an information. What they did, they only deceived the people of Ghana about what is happening. But let me tell you, yesterday we were successful in getting the Speaker to accept that the Minister of Finance must appear before us to at least give us a policy brief on Tuesday. So Tuesday, 10 o'clock, we expect the Minister of Finance to be here to tell us exactly what is going on.
But that will be after the fact, right?
But you see, it's better late than never. Okay, so that will be the beginning for us to unravel what is going on. Because you see, in one breath, we heard the minister saying the pension funds are not involved. But what constitutes a pension fund? Is that the person who has gone on retirement and has taken his money and invested in bonds? Or the person who is still at employment and contributing tier 2 and tier 3 and the bank is using the money to repay? Or the ordinary person who sit somewhere and say that I will take my money and I'll save for my future, also pension. So the definition of pension fund needs to be clear. In one breath, one is part, one is not part. So discriminatory. I don't think that is the way we have to go, because you are saving for your pension. Somebody else may decide to save for his pension through probably life insurance. Another person may decide to save for his pension through, tier 2 or tier 3. They are pension funds. So you cannot come out with a policy statement by picking and choosing. That is wrong.